Today's video has been sponsored by Thrive Market. How's it going, my peeps? Welcome back to the channel for a kind of special day. Today, March 18th, is officially my birthday. Special day. The day you are watching this, March 18th, is officially my birthday.
I can't get it to go.
Let me see it.
Do you see directions?
Yeah, it says do it outside. Are you really? Come on.
Do you see how hard I'm
Are
trying?
you messing around?
No.
You gotta muster it. Come
I'm
on.
mustering, David.
Friday, March 18th is my birthday. Alright.
Listen,
I give it up.
Like, you know those gender reveals that go bad? Whoa!
Jesus Christ, what was that?
That was not that hard. Anyways, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is the first time the day that I upload is the same day as my actual birthday, which is kind of cool, I guess, and we've spent quite a few birthdays together. I think this is the 6th one, and 6 years later, I haven't gotten into any scandals or drama. I haven't hit 1 million yet. I mean, what are we even doing here? At least I have all you lovely peeps that have watched me for very long, most importantly, and all these delicious cakes that we're about to whip up for today. I have scoured YouTube looking for the best, most delicious looking birthday cakes, and today we're gonna be testing out Claire Saffitz's homemade funfetti cake, Food with Chetna's homemade chocolate drip cake, and then for the 6th time on the channel, to make sure we have something delicious no matter what happens, we're gonna whip up Tasty's ultimate chocolate cake, a recipe most of you should be very familiar with by now. Thank you all so much for the birthday wishes. As always, all of the links to these recipes will be down in the description, but let's get right into this one. You may be asking, why am I only doing 3 cakes as opposed to the 4 recipes I usually end up testing in these Versus episodes? And to that, I would say, it's my birthday and these cakes are gonna take a long time, so let me live. And before I can tackle any one of the 3, I gotta give a shout out to my friends over at Thrive Market. Thrive Market is an online membership-based grocery store on a mission to make healthy living easy and affordable for everybody. From meat and seafood to supplements and beauty products, you can shop for thousands of the best-selling organic foods and natural products below traditional retail prices. And if you find a better price anywhere else, Thrive Market will match it. I was blown away by the selection of their organic groceries and snacks, their eco-friendly cleaning supplies, non-toxic beauty items, and to really hammer home just how versatile and limitless Thrive Market's offerings are, I whipped up one of my favorite meals, the surf and turf, strictly using Thrive's products, and let's just say my family was quite pleased with the results. And if you are gluten-free, vegan, keto, or have a food allergy like myself, Thrive Market is guaranteed to become your new best friend. They offer a monthly membership option for $9.95 a month, or a yearly option for $59.95 a month, or in other words, $5 a month. So do yourselves a favor, click the link in the top line of the description to go to thrivemarket.com/David Seymour. You can get 40% off of your first order and a free gift worth over $50 when you sign up with Thrive Market today. First up to the plate today will be Claire Saffitz and her confetti cake from her book Dessert Person. And to make it, I grabbed some vegetable oil and cake flour, some granulated sugar and buttermilk, kosher salt, baking soda and powder, some vanilla extract and lots of butter, shitty rainbow sprinkles, and 6 eggs. Now I only say that because that is explicitly what Claire said in her video. I guess the more expensive sprinkles tend to bleed into the cake batter and not preserve their shape. They're not chock full of preservatives like these Walmart variety ones are. We're less than 3 minutes into the video and I'm already slewing somebody. This should be a good one. I'm gonna be right up front and say this to you guys right at the beginning of the video. I am going to try my tail off today to get these cakes to look somewhat presentable. I am sick of using the excuse of not being good at baking or cake decorating. If you've seen my other baking videos, you might know what I'm referring to. I just don't have the greatest track record with making aesthetic or pretty desserts. Now, a couple of things to note with Claire's cake here. Number 1, I am 2/3ing her recipe, meaning I am using 66% of all the ingredients that she calls for because I only want to make 2 of the 3 gigantic 9-inch round pans of cake at the end. We're making a lot of cake today, and we don't need to start out with a cake that'll probably serve 40 to 50 people. That is, unless your party is full of Chris Morocco's, in which case it will serve 100 of him, considering the little hamster bites of food he takes. Anyways, for the batter itself, Claire uses a very interesting method called reverse creaming, where instead of starting by creaming your butter and sugars together, you kind of work backwards. You start with the dry ingredients, and then kind of add the liquids and fats at the very end. Now, as for the frosting, listen, it's my birthday. I don't want to be dealing with any cream cheese frostings today. Instead, I whipped up the old trusty buttercream recipe from my cupcake addiction. I have made this countless times in replacement of cream cheese frostings. You can find the link to that video down in the description. My cakes came out of the pans beautifully. I got them leveled off and started to assemble this thing. Claire mentions that an optional step is to give these a little bit of a cake soak if you cook them the night before or you feel like they're a little bit dry. Mine did end up feeling drier than most TikTok humor, so off camera I added a little bit of milk and vanilla as the cake soak. I gave this guy a crumb coat by adding a very thin layer of frosting, letting it set in the fridge to kind of trap in all those crumbs. Finished it with another thin layer of frosting and the sprinkles, and wow. I don't want to say anything and jinx myself with the other cakes we have to make, but we're off to a pretty good start as far as looks go. From the layers, to the colors, to the frosting, I think I love everything about this. Is it possible that I needed to just like tell myself to really focus and work hard to make something look decent? Possibly. We'll see, I guess, throughout the rest of this one. This is very good, and it takes me right back. It's such a classic, like nostalgic looking food. It tastes very similar to how I remember the boxed funfetti tasting. It's not too sweet, it's got a nice airy texture. I would still say it's leaning a hint dry. I could have added even more of the milk. Look how crispy that frosting line is too. It's like a perfect 90-degree angle. It looks like the cake is kind of hermetically sealed in the frosting. I'm tooting my own horn a little bit right now, I know. Super good though. Shout outs to Claire. We also love you and we must protect her. Extremely satisfying way to start this one. Next up today is Chetna and her chocolate drip birthday cake that she made for her son's birthday, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. You will need some sugar and water, some self-rising flour and dark chocolate, vanilla extract, a whole lot of eggs, baking powder and heavy cream, lots of butter, and some whole milk. If you're unfamiliar, Chetna's channel is awesome. Her name on YouTube is Food with Chetna, and I think she's been around just as long as I have, which is a very long time to be at making food videos for the internet, so Chetna, I see you. And immediately, I love the approach of this cake sponge. There's no adding the wet ingredients one at a time, sifting together the dry. No, she says screw it and throws all the ingredients into a bowl, puts it in the damn mixer, and lets it do its thing. Honestly, if this cake comes out good, I will kind of be shocked because so many recipes emphasize adding 1 or 2 ingredients at a time. You know, creaming your butter and sugar, or incorporating air into the eggs, or reverse creaming. Like, she says, I'm not having any of that nonsense today. I say that, and this recipe more than makes up for the saved time with all the other components you have to make, starting with the simple syrup. As per usual, super simple to make. If you've never made it, it's just equal parts water and sugar, thrown together in a pan over low heat until both come together and start steaming. You also have to make a chocolate ganache with a bunch of dark chocolate chopped up finely, and then enough steamed heavy cream to cover the top and melt everything together. And then to top everything off, an Italian meringue buttercream, which I'm kind of scared of making, but I shouldn't be. It's time to put on my big boy pants and try to get this recipe right. I heated up the sugar syrup to a hardball stage. You have to either use a candy thermometer or like a meat thermometer for this. I don't see how you would be able to get this right if you don't have one. At least I wouldn't be able to. Shouldn't speak for everybody on that. You then have to stream it into some egg whites that were already at soft peaks. I think it's just the delicate timing and honestly dangerousness of this recipe that kind of struck fear in me from the beginning. If you don't have those eggs ready to go, your sugar is going to spike in temperature and screw it all up. If your mixer is running too fast or it lifts up, it's gonna spew boiling hot sugar all over you and the room. I know this is a large cake and it's gonna need a lot of frosting, but goddamn, this is a lot of butter. I'll never forget the horror that I felt when I first found out that frosting is literally just some kind of fat and sugar The fact I used to eat tablespoons of it when I was a kid is kind of nauseating. And as soon as I thought everything was going great and I was getting ready to assemble this, I realized my ganache split. I'm sure there's a way to save it when it looks super greasy and oily like this, but I'm not in the mood to experiment. I just whipped up another batch. That thing was probably not worth saving anyway. It was oilier than Teenage David's face in some of my old videos. And finally now we can assemble this beast. The 2 layers of cake. Squished in between those, the layer of buttercream as well as a thin layer of the ganache. You kind of have to give this one a crumb coat too to let it set in the fridge, or else that ganache might melt the frosting right off if it's not cold enough. On second thought, maybe I shouldn't have chilled this because the chocolate was setting really fast and I couldn't get the drips to fall how I wanted. But I chugged along. I finished it off with an assortment of chocolate candies. Feel free to use whatever you got on hand or whatever you like. Once again, I am not hating the way this looks. From potential disaster to a decent looking cake, let's give option number 2 a shot. I know some of you appreciate this presentation, that little chocolate swoop. Literally anybody who's ever worked at Cheesecake Factory can probably do that, so maybe I shouldn't be bragging about it like I was just about to. I'm trying to figure out how to put this. There's a lot of variables in baking. There could be issues with conversions and oven temperatures, different brands of ingredients, and I mean, we're in 2 different countries, but this is bad, guys. How does it look this good and taste the way it does? It unfortunately tastes nothing like it looks. The flavor of the cake is fine. It's very muted, but the texture and just overall vibe of it gives me like boxed cornbread. If you ever had like a box of Jiffy, you might not be able to see, but it's very like dense, and the way it crumbles and like the mouthfeel of it, it's like weirdly similar. And the frosting, which I thought looked pretty good, literally just tastes like straight up whipped butter. If you've ever bought one of those round cylinders of like Land O'Lakes whipped butter, that's pretty much what this tastes like. I'm so sad. All of this could have been my fault, of course. That's always a very strong possibility. Baking in general is just so damn fickle. 1 or 2 things off or wrong is gonna ruin the entire thing. That's probably what happened here. I really don't know though, so if anybody has ever made this, please let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, this is gonna go down as one of the biggest, like, weird question marks of the channel. And lastly today is Old Reliable Tasty's Ultimate Chocolate Cake. We have made this countless times, and so have you guys based on some of the DMs I've gotten. So for old time's sake, I'm gonna make it again using some sugar and Dutch processed cocoa powder, some Guinness and all-purpose flour, kosher salt and the mayo, baking soda and dark chocolate, powdered sugar, vanilla extract, espresso powder, baking powder, 3 eggs, and lots of butter. Because I have made this so many damn times, I'm not gonna go through every little step. I'm not even gonna like pre-measure everything out. I'm just gonna kind of whip this together as I would on any normal weekend and just happen to be filming it this time. You know, it's rare times like this that really make me step back and kind of realize how long we've been at these videos. I started this channel when I was like 17. I think I started making food videos my first year of college, so we've come a long way. And the fact that some portion of you have been here since the very beginning is kind of mind-numbing. I get sick of my own face and voice editing these videos each week, so I don't know how y'all have tolerated me for so long. If you have never made this cake, there are not words to describe how much I recommend that you make it. It has to be top 3 recipes we've ever made. I still don't know what exactly it is that makes it so good, but over the years I've deduced certain things about it. Number 1, it doesn't dry out. It doesn't use a cake soak, but it uses a lot of the stout, the mayo, which is not weird. I thought it was at first, but mayo is literally just eggs and oil with a couple other things. And the other big thing I found is it relies super heavily on the kinds of chocolate that you use. I've tried it with really shit cocoa powder and chocolate chips, and it is not the same. It doesn't have to be the most expensive things you can find, but a decent quality dark chocolate In a pinch, the Hershey's cocoa powder will work fine. Just make sure it's not that super ultra bitter 100% cocoa powder. And yeah, besides that, just take your time, try to follow the video exactly. I'm sure some of you are gonna call me a Tasty fanboy or on their payroll or somehow benefiting from them. I have never in my life accepted $1 from any of these companies or people or accepted any kind of like beneficial promotion, literally nothing. When it comes to the meat of these videos, the things that are in the title, I have never lied. I've never tried to deceive for anyone else's weird benefit. I would be gaining nothing. I am just here to myth bust internet recipes for all of you peeps. From the smells to the overall appearance, it's all coming back to me. Before a tidal wave of saliva starts pouring out of my mouth, let's give cake option number 3 a shot. By the way, thank you for all your comments about my quarter-life crisis hair, good, bad, or indifferent. This is the last video I'm gonna have it. I'm kind of over it myself, and it's fading really weirdly. So I did it once fully, I let it ride out for a month, and I'm good now. Claire's cake was great, especially for a birthday festivity, but this is still my favorite cake on the planet. I think it's gotta be the most perfectly balanced dessert item I've ever eaten, with the sweetness, the bitterness. No one flavor or attribute stands out more than the other, besides the chocolate, of course. If you love chocolate, even if you don't like chocolate, I'm not even the biggest chocolate fan, make this damn cake. It's very rich, but I would say it eats pretty light. This is the only cake I'll also eat an entire piece of. It's as if somebody took those fudgy brownies and merged it with a super like deep, complex, just tasty and addictive chocolate cake. It is so damn good. I'm sure there was a group of people that worked on this over at Tasty, and I don't know any of them outside of the narrator of the video, but whoever you are, congrats, because this is a piece of food perfection. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, leave me a big old like. Thank you to Thrive Market for making this one possible. And a big thanks to you guys for rocking with me for so many years. Every time we hit a milestone or it's my birthday, it kind of hits me again. So many thanks to you guys, of course. Follow me over on Twitter and Instagram if you do not already. And other than that, have a fantastic weekend, guys, and I will see you right back here next time. Peace! Bring my finger cooking, chefing in that kitchen, flexing how we living, yeah. I'm cooking up that fire out in David's kitchen. They were calling me a lie, nah, they be wishing that they could have seen the fire out in David's kitchen. Yeah, we cooking up that rah, yeah. Now we eating all the fries out in David's kitchen. Yeah, we living super size, yeah. You're not that weak. You just pointed right at my face.
No, I didn't. I'm telling you, it's not me.
Is it defective? I wonder if you can wind it back again and then like refill it again. Thank you.
Happy birthday.